Hi everyone, we're yet again back with the podcast channel, and this is Off the Record with Saman, where we bring up students or aspiring students or who are currently students or who are no longer students but now corporate professionals, and we talk about their journey in their respective colleges, how they have gone through all those international travel and what are other things that goes through for them to come and study into a new country and learn the new culture. So here we are back with another episode, and we have two amazing guests here. One is already a student with Georgia Tech University, and the other who is part of the alumni group of Georgia Tech University. So we'll draw up some comparison of how things were for both of them, and they will uh, introduce themselves. So I'll go ahead and let Sakshee go off mute and introduce yourself to the crowd.
Okay. Thanks, Saman. Hi, everyone. I'm Sakshee Bapat. I'm from India. I am currently in Atlanta studying a master's in cybersecurity at Georgia Tech. I came here in fall 2022 and I'll be graduating in 2 months. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. And Atlanta has like a lot of memories for me as well because I did my college from there as well. So it's great to have people from Atlanta back on the channel. We go for your introduction, Apurv.
Yeah, sure, Saman. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Hello everyone. My name is Apurv Singh Gautam. I'm from Varanasi, India. Currently, I'm a senior threat research analyst at Cyble. I've been working there for I think two plus years. It's going to be 3 years this July. I completed my master's same at Georgia Tech from Georgia Tech, MS in cybersecurity. I came here in fall 2019, so 2 years course. And yeah, happy to be here.
That's great. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking out time and coming on the podcast to talk about your journeys and helping the aspiring folks who are sitting there and wanting to come to the same college for the degree. It would be a great help for them. So before going towards major questions, we just wanted to start up with this question that why this particular college? I know you people would have applied to a couple of universities, but why Georgia Tech and specifically MS in cybersecurity stood out for the both of you? So we'll start with you, Apurv.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I can go first with why MS in cybersecurity. So my overall like undergrad, I have been focusing on cybersecurity. So like I would say like 6+ years back, I was focusing on cybersecurity only. So I knew I want to go in cybersecurity itself. And I mean, I could have gone computer science and studied cybersecurity, but with that, you have to take some core computer science courses, which I didn't like. So I that's why I just wanted to go for cybersecurity. So all the colleges or universities that I applied were cybersecurity, like MS in cybersecurity or information security or other names that they call it. So it was mostly for that. And for Georgia Tech, it's I mean obviously I got admit from other universities also. One was University of Maryland. There was Northeastern University. So once I got all these admits, then I went on to comparison, right? Like which university is better, the location, like Atlanta, obviously a really good location from that point, and the courses, also the professors. So obviously we will talk more on this later for the research opportunities and all, but I was interested into research. So I was looking for professors, like checking out the professors and what research they have been doing. So that's why like it all came down to Georgia Tech.
We know that Georgia Tech is really an amazing university. And in terms of research and innovation, it really stands the best when we talk about a college in Georgia. Georgia Tech really, stands out there. So, yeah, what about you, Sakshi? What were your reasons for this particular course and the college?
So, okay, I'll start with why cybersecurity. 3 years back, I was all about engineering and IT back in India. So it seemed like a natural path. But deep down, I was always curious about cybersecurity, and I got a job in Tata Consultancy Services. After that, they introduced me to blue teaming, which is why I suddenly realized, okay, cybersecurity is my next step now. And like, it's not just about stopping hackers. there's a lot going on. There's a lot of strategy, planning, and all of that is going on along with the teamwork. So I wanted to know more, and the more I got into it, the more I realized that I want to pursue my master's here in US. And when I started applying to cybersecurity, um, I think Georgia Tech was always my dream university. I thought that this was an ambitious university for me. And based on the, when I got the admits finally, I, based on the program ranking and reputation, and of course the research opportunities that Georgia Tech offers, this was my only choice. Like, this is what I want. I did not think of any other university.
That's amazing. That really happens very rarely with people that, you apply to one and you just excel into it and come for that course. So,
I actually applied to others as well. I got
okay.
admits from ASU, and there was one more. I don't remember it. So I got three admits, and one of them was, oh, UTD. So this was like the best choice out of all three for me. So I thought, okay, I got this.
Georgia Tech has a different level of following in terms of, students and everything. So I've lived across those streets as well. The other day, we and Apurv were talking about, and it just gives you out a different feel when you live around the campus and everything. So it's really amazing. And I could just feel you people were the lucky ones that you could get into that university. So, when we talk about the university, we talked about the course. So we know that a lot of the cybersecurity courses are also provided by other colleges from different other countries as well, or be it our home country as well, that's India. So how the particular course and this particular college really stood out for you that, okay, US is the only place I wanted to do it and not any other country, because we've had other options as well. So why this stood out for the both of you? Sakshi, will go up with you first.
So when I was searching for colleges, when I finally decided that, okay, I want cybersecurity and I want to do my master's there, I was researching on what kind of programs are offered by different universities and what's the ranking in each. I created a whole Excel, and I researched about the faculties there and their publications, their research work. Like, if in case I want to do research in future, I wanted a set of alumni and professors who could help me figure that out. And this is how I was searching for it. And I also searched for what kind of labs are provided, what kind of courses are provided by each college, and which one offers the ones that I am interested in. So, and there was actually one more factor why US. So, US has a lot of STEM courses which are offered like in really good universities. So I had a lot of options here. And even though India has like many reputed universities, but I think US has more specialized cybersecurity programs which are even globally recognized. So I think that's how I ended up on US. And while researching on the universities, there were a lot of factors involved along with the financial factor as well. Georgia Tech is public university, right? So it's comparatively cheaper than the other colleges. And it also provides the GTA facility. Like, if you are selected for being a GTA, your fee gets waived. I can talk about that later, but
Amazing. Yeah,
this is
we'll
how I shortlisted Georgia Tech.
yeah, that
And
could
well,
be a lot of reasons. Finance is one of them, and yeah, we'll get on to that as well next. Uh, I agree to all of your points. Apurv, anything else you want to add up?
I think from my side, why US was because in my undergrad or during my undergrad, I was doing research in threat intel. So basically, just a quick intro to threat intel is, and you may have heard obviously the buzzword. It's basically a domain where you collect all the data and try to proactively identify the threats to any personnel or the company. So I was into that, and on the academic research side of things. So I did my research in undergrad and I was like, no, I need to do more. And that's why I was researching like online, like to see which colleges outside India, because in India, it was like the word threat intel itself was not that widely used, especially in the academic research. There were companies, or there are still companies, one or two companies who actually do it, But in the academic research space, I didn't hear it from anyone. So I had to search like, okay, where it is being used, or which country where professors are doing this type of research. So I went ahead with US. I don't think I applied to any other like European colleges, or I think Australia also. Yeah, I never applied to that. So it was US only for me, the option. And then Georgia Tech itself, because again, as I said, like I did research into like which professors are there, what type of research they are doing, and how like that can benefit me. So I did find one or two professors that obviously we can talk about more in the call, which they were doing this type of research in threat intel. So that's why I just focused on that and I came here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something as students we really focus on, either the curriculum side and the faculty side, or the next thing is, uh, how much hole are we putting up in our pockets? So the faculty thing is the next. So since we are catering to this point, so I really wanted to bring it up. So every college has its own selection process and how do they cater to it. And then there comes the criteria of scholarships being given to international students. So how are things for both of you? We'll come from past to present. So probably I'll start with you, Apurv, and with Sakshi, you can tell me if things have changed now with Georgia Tech. So yeah, with the selection process and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically the selection process was, I think during my time, I still think it's the same. You apply online, they have the online portal where you submit all the documents. During my time, the GRE was like mandatory. I don't know now, Sakshi, is it mandatory now, the GRE itself? But yeah, during my time, it was mandatory. So my GRE was not good. Like I think it was 304. So I focused like apart from GRE, I focused everything on my overall profile, because every senior I talked to on LinkedIn, for any other colleges also, they focused on this. Like you have to have really good profile. And because I was in cybersecurity for so many, or I was doing it or reading on it or doing projects, I had that profile, like doing extracurricular work in cybersecurity itself. And I think I did give few conference talks back in India itself. So I had that. I think because of that, I got selected in Georgia Tech, and also the research, because the academic research I did already. So maybe they saw that. So that was the selection process. Coming to the scholarship one, on talking to seniors at Georgia Tech itself, they did tell that there are many online courses at Georgia Tech. So people get opportunity for getting a GTA or GRA. Like GTA is a graduate teaching assistant and GRA is research assistant. So I mean, I obviously wanted to focus on research assistant part. And again, as Sakshi told, for both of them, you get tuition waived off, like 100%. So you just have to pay, I think, some taxes and fees. So yeah.
This is amazing, actually. Like,
yeah, it was amazing. Like I mean, obviously everyone focuses on that, right? Like getting a TA or
like
an
as
RA.
part of Georgia State, we were also given like graduate teaching assistant or research assistant opportunities, but it was never like there was a concession, but not like
Not
full.
like full 100%. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really
Yeah,
amazing.
no, it was really good. So I think when I came, every senior they told us that you will not get it in first semester. It's like really easy to get it after first semester, because first semester professors don't know you, and that's why they don't give it to you. But I try to like email professors. I think everyone does, right? Like emailing professors before coming here. Like if you can give us TA or RA, and in my case it was more on the RA, right? Because I did my research. So I did message few professors that are shortlisted. They did say like they are open to it, but they didn't have any RA position for me. So there was one professor, Professor Paul Pierce. I did a research with him, but it was just for like I took a course. Like he suggested me to take a course for the first 6 months, and then like later he will see how I performed. But luckily there was another professor, and as soon as we came here in US, we received an email from one professor that she is looking for researchers. And I was like, the topic itself was closely related to threat intel. So I just submitted my resume or like research I did. And it was obviously it was not an RA or TA position. She just specified research, and I just wanted to go with that. When I visited her, she, after looking at my profile and talking to her, she offered me a TA for an online course. So I think that's how I got my TA for the first semester, even though everyone said like you will not get, or most likely you will not get, but it was just luck, I guess. So I got
It
TA
was
for
luck, and
there.
also luckily your background also
Oh
has.
yeah. The background stuff. Yeah, in threat intel itself, I think that's what we talked about also while chatting with the professor. Like that lucked out, and after that, obviously from second semester, it's easy, right? As I said, so I got TA in other courses, other on-campus courses.
So you may, like, you can shuffle it every semester as well, or you can continue with that
Yes.
professor itself.
So in this, like the first semester, the one I got, the research I did was just for 6 months. So she didn't have any more research. So because there was no research, so there was no TA also, right? Because it comes together. She was the she was the professor who managed this course and the research as well. But as I said, I was doing under Professor Paul Pierce, I was doing research as a course. So he did see good value out of it, like what I presented. So he offered me TA for his course, which was, I think, Intro to InfoSec. And after that, I had been TA for like the remaining 3 semesters. I was TA for that course itself.
That's amazing. Yeah. One gives you out to the other. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But that worked out really well for you for the semesters that you had to be there. And
Yep.
it was obviously something in your curriculum. That's something you are learning apart from what you're learning, but they're all directly proportionate.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
That's like a good learning for me as well about Georgia. Yeah. What about you, Sakshi? Like, how is it different now or at your time?
So the selection process is same, I think. Still, we need GRE, we need TOEFL. It might have changed now, but I don't think like they need a whole profile, a good profile, and for that, I think my work experience played a big role because I was already working in blue team. So I had cybersecurity experience. I was working as a security operations analyst, which is why they were interested in my profile, I think. And when I came here, again, I did not know that we could mail the professors about GTA and all of that. But when I came here, I did mail professors, I did try to contact them. But since I was joining them, I couldn't get anything. And I had to take so we have to take 12 credits if you don't have any TA or RA, which is a lot. And since I was just settling in, I didn't take TA then, but I got it in my second semester, and even that was random. Like many of my other students couldn't get TA. So even for second semester, it was hard to get one. RA was comparatively easier. I think many of my friends were working on researches under different professors. So they got converted to GRA pretty quick, but not us. But guess what subject I was TAing for, and I'm TAing for? It's Intro to InfoSec, which is like the core cybersecurity course. It's a mandatory course. I took this in my first semester and I got the TA in second, and I'm still doing that. I'm having fun. It's a lovely course. I love that course so much because it reintroduces you to different projects, like including application security, network security, web security, forensics. And I'm creating projects, quizzes, and exam questions for them now. It's fun.
That's amazing. It's actually I just wanted to say, like, with my experience, I was the TA for database, like introduction to database management system. Initially, it was really fun, creating quizzes and assignments, grading and everything. But later, when that system came up, when students come up directly to you that have been graded wrongly here and this or that, so that's like a time when you think, okay, have I graded that person at 2 in the night incorrectly? Is it that the situation? So yeah, that was also a next level experience. Then like in my next semester, I was in RA. So it was more of working with EndNote and, working more towards the manuscripts for the professor. So I've done both the things. I would still align towards the RA side. The TA side
Yeah.
is difficult in its own ways. It's challenging every day because at times not even the students but the professors also come up and ask you, how have you graded this student? Like, I think so the answer is correct as per the supplement key. Where did the person go wrong? So there's a lot of answering to be done at that end, and that's difficult. So I thought I would just switch it up to RA instead and continue with that one. But that's amazing. Like, you actually had that course in the first semester, and then in the second and current semester, you're actually being a TA there. So you know what are the things and how you have to, when you were a student with that course and now you are a TA with that course, a lot has come up into your hands for that particular course. So yeah, good luck with that. And moving ahead, we talked about the college process, the selection process. That somehow, I guess, is almost the same. It's just how you are contacting to the professor for a TA or an RA position. That's important. Uh, let's just head back. And one question, is your course just a fall course or a spring course, or it can be done in either of the semesters, or is it just strictly for like it to start in fall only, or it can start in spring as well or summers as well? Is it that kind of a course?
No, like it can be taken in any semester. It's a
Mhm.
mandatory course for cybersecurity major students.
Okay.
So you can take it anytime.
Okay, great. Because we've come across through a lot of students in different colleges where, like for my degree course, it was supposed to start only in fall. So if you do not get in fall and you want to defer it, you can only defer it till the next fall. So you can't join it in spring or summer. So that was the main intent to know about it. But that's good that you can join anytime and start anytime you want. Going ahead and talking more about the difficult process, that is the visa process, and how did you people like, I want to know actually the turmoil that you both faced, because there has to be one. I can't understand or think of any person who would have not gone through a visa process which had been as smooth as possible. So I wanted to know, like, when did you get the admit, and then after that how things went by in terms of, financially sorting out things, the I-20s, the appointment dates, and then the main flying dates. So Sakshi, with you being first.
So yeah, I got my admit in March end, and when I got my I-20, the date was wrong, which is why the end date was wrong. It showed that the course is only for 1 year, which created a problem in my bank, and I was not getting loan very easily. And that process took most of my time, I think. But since it was SBI and I thought that the rate was okay and it was more affordable, I could do that. So I took that, and then I applied to the visa process, and there were not many slots available. It was crazy, and I had to be there in August. So I was searching for visa appointments. I didn't get any. But there's this F1 visa group on Telegram, which I was focusing on. It's such a nice group. You always know when the slots are open. And I think I got my slot at
That
2
did not
a.m.
help me at all.
I booked my slot at 2 a.m. It helped me.
I booked my one at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that too, a couple of my friends were here in US, and we were searching together, and they get to see it, and I was like, oh my God, okay,
Oh my
okay.
God. After that, I think it was a pretty smooth process for me. Like, I would just say if anyone is going to if anyone is going for interviews, they should search for what kind of questions are usually asked so that they don't get nervous, because sometimes out of nervousness, if they say something wrong, they get rejected. It's unnecessary, right? So I think other than that, the visa process was quite smooth for me.
That's great. I guess the initial fuck up was with the I-20 date, and
Yes.
that would have created, because for me also there were a couple of discrepancies on my I-20 as well. And being like new students, you don't know what is correct and what is incorrect in an I-20. And when you know nobody around you, you're like just one person going in. So that took me as well a lot of time, and then to present the finances and then get everything sorted back, and then there was another door to be opened, was to get the appointment, and then you do not know that you would be accepted or rejected or what would happen actually. So yeah, what about you, Apurv?
I
Back in
think after
2019, what
yeah, I
happened?
was going to say after hearing you both, I think pre-COVID was very easy. At least for me, it was very, very smooth. So I got my, I think again as same as March. March, I think first week I got my admit like approval or whatever, and then I-20 I got April, around April or 1 month after that. Everything was correct in my I-20. So also pre-COVID, we didn't have like the approve or appointment shortages. So I was able to get that also easily. And for the appointment itself, I did. So there are a lot of these what do you call companies that do mock interviews, right? So I did read up online like all the questions or most of the questions that they ask, but I did get help of one of the companies. I think it was GRE Edge. I got help from there. They just, I mean, basically what they conduct two mock interviews, and after the completion of the interview, they tell you what you did wrong or what you did right. So it was mostly most of the answers. Obviously, I knew because I researched in the university. I researched all the professors and everything. Right, the questions typically they ask, and all the finances like where you have loan from, everything. But there are a few questions like I was getting wrong. So they just helped me with like you are framing the answers wrong. I was giving correct answer. It was just the framing of that was wrong. So I think it was very like very small thing, but still they corrected that. So the visa interview was very. I think it was 1 minute something, 1 minute. So again, pre-COVID, I mean, I assume it was easy for Sakshi also, but it was very easy from my part. Also, our seniors did tell like, okay, you are Georgia Tech or you are getting into Georgia Tech. They know Georgia Tech is one of the top universities, so they will not ask you a lot of questions. So I think the question that I got asked was like, which why this course and the finances. That's it. So
Those
yeah.
were the couple of questions I also got, but they were majorly targeting, like they actually asked me about my curriculum as well. So
Okay.
thankfully, I by hearted all of my
Yeah.
subjects for
I
all
mean,
of
I
them.
did remember, I did learn or
Yeah.
know what to say when they asked this.
Hmm.
It's just they didn't ask that. So
Yeah, and that is one pro tip that everyone gave, that in your head you actually know the answer, but it's very important for them to understand that you
yeah.
have that much money or you are
Yep.
interested to go there and you will come back. That those
Yeah.
were the three highlighted questions that, you know, everywhere I could see. I did not give any mock interviews as such. I
Mhm.
was just following a lot of folks online and then a couple of friends who were already here.
Yeah.
And that's about it, I guess. For me also, it was just 30 seconds, but for those 30 seconds, one had to actually prep up a lot for
Yeah,
that.
no, no, definitely, definitely. I think the main thing that everyone told me was be confident,
Yeah.
like don't fumble. I
Yeah.
think for that itself, I took the mock interview side because I
Mhm.
didn't know, like, I've never been in, like, so before this, I have no visa. Like, I have never been outside India,
Same,
at
same.
least
I guess
where
same for
people
you,
get
Sakshee, as
visa
well.
from.
Like,
Sorry.
have you had prior experiences? Like, it was for us the first time traveling internationally.
It was for the first time for me as well.
Yeah, we were all
Yeah,
set.
so I have never been in an interview or visa, what VFS or whatever that thing is, right? So that's why I needed to get that. Like, okay, can I answer those questions?
Yeah.
So also before, like in the line itself, like I did mine in Delhi, right? In the consulate itself, during like while you're in the line, you feel that pressure. Oh, I am coming to that. So I also you start seeing checking out like there are different counters. So
Yeah.
which counter people are going like based on their behavior
Yeah.
or what they are like. You can't hear them obviously, or you can hear, but it's very small things or
I could hear
like one
it
or two
very
words.
properly. The guy in front of me got his visa rejected,
Oh,
and really got the officer pissed. And I was just looking left and right that, can anybody please change
yeah.
my counter number, please? I cannot, but I had to go to him and he only approved my visa. So there are those situations in that room as well, because
Yep, yep.
there were a couple of situations that I saw that the visas were rejected and there were red slips being given, sorry, pink slips given to those folks. So yeah, I was just thinking that, I just have to take the approval thing and I will just run away. And I did just that. The moment he said, we'll collect your passport in a couple of days, I just ran away. Like, I don't want to hear
Yeah.
anything else. Just
No, it's a good feeling. I mean, for a lot of people that I talk to, after they collect your passport, sometimes people get confused. What happened? Like, am I rejected? Am I approved? So
yeah.
thankfully, it didn't happen to me.
Because it technically isn't red or green. It's like pink, or at times they give white slips.
Yeah, they keep changing. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't
and
know.
it
Yeah.
gets really difficult. But at my time, they were giving no slips. They were just verbally
Oh, okay.
telling approved or rejected. That's it.
You were also during COVID, right?
Yes,
Was
2022. I
yeah,
gave.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
I also
basically.
came in the
Yeah.
same time, I guess, when Sakshee was here. So the same time, but yeah, rather different experiences everyone has.
Yeah. I mean, I think for people or students coming in right now, as Sakshi said, the Telegram group, that did help me with my H1B, by the way. So there are different Telegram groups out there, like for H1B, for F1 or for B1, B2 also there are Telegram groups. And all over, like for the H1B, they had like 100,000 people in there. So you are sure that every second someone is checking visa
I
slots.
know, because there were days they used to write, it's open now, we can see 6 things. And I was like, I see nothing.
No,
What
so it goes out quickly. So what I did was being like in the tech background, I created a
a
Telegram
script?
bot.
What?
Yeah, a bot, a script, so that it just tells me. So I gave it keyword, right? Like bulk. So during my time, a lot of bulk appointments were opening it. So I just gave it few keywords like bulk, appointment, and similar keywords, and inform me as soon as that keyword is hit. And because of that, I got
That's
it.
really smart of you, Apurv. That's really smart. I couldn't think that much. I was just cribbing, crying every day, being dependent on tens and thousands of people. But that's a pro tip for everyone. If you know anyone, or if you know scripting or anything of that sort, probably you can go ahead and take this
Yeah.
thing, and that could just update you rather than depending on other Telegram groups or anywhere else. So yeah, that's amazing. That's good to know all these tactics as well that others could take in, because we know appointments are a deal right
Yep.
now and in the coming years as well. So moving ahead, like you got your visas and then obviously you're flying in to Atlanta, obviously. How was your first couple of months with the logistic events, if we talk about bank or going to the college, like public transportation, groceries, and how were you taking up the change, the culture shock, and everything? How were those things? So we'll start with your proof.
Yeah, so I think the cultural change, obviously, it will be there, right? Because I've never been outside India. But I think this is where your friend circle helps a lot because everyone is in the same boat, right? So if you're doing the same things together, then you understand, okay, this is the right thing to do. This is not, you don't have to go here. So we did have really good friend circle coming, like we chatted on WhatsApp. We had groups, and also for Georgia Tech, we have really good like India Club. I think India Club it's called. Yeah, we have really good club. So they have really good people. They at least during my time they had WhatsApp group created for all the upcoming students, and they also had one or two sessions like meeting session like what to do and what not to do, all those things. And I think also I watched a lot of YouTube videos like what are different phrases people use and all those things, right? Because it's a new thing, like people talk differently, they use different phrases. So you have to know, like, okay, what they're talking about. I just an example, like I didn't know what is it under the weather. I think under the weather. Yeah, like who knows that is
I
for
get
you
it.
are sick, right?
Yeah.
So for those things, like we did, or at least I did research on that. But yeah, the India Club helped a lot. our friends also. Like wherever we go, we went like for bank account opening. What else? All other like things that you need to do, like groceries. You said we went together only, so we knew okay, if you are doing something wrong, others can point it out, right? So it was that like you can fall back to something. So I think it helped a lot during the coming weeks. For the transportation part, Georgia Tech had really good public transport system, and
Yeah.
because it is in Midtown Atlanta, and the whole Midtown is surrounded by Georgia Tech buildings only, so it was very easy to go from one place to another. It was just during the start you had to remember, okay, I have to take this bus, not that bus, and they have different color coding system.
Mhm.
So that was the
I've
only
seen
thing in
those
the start.
buses.
Yeah,
They look really fancy.
I mean, I went to Atlanta, I think last to last week, and they changed the entire bus, like new buses, new
I saw
colors,
them.
really good
Because I
ones.
was staying in Midtown, so I saw them and I was like, wow, they're investing a lot into their
Yeah,
transportation
yeah.
as
No,
well.
so transport was really good, like amazing. They, I think every half an hour you get one or two bus going through the same route. And because we were staying in Midtown itself, we didn't have much difficulty in like getting a bus, or we didn't have to walk a lot. It was like just
Yeah,
5 minutes walk.
it's full of
So,
actually like Georgia Tech students only, what I
yep,
also.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess the preferred place to live is Midtown only. Or
Yeah.
are there any
I
other?
mean, people do live outside also, like people who have cars,
Okay.
obviously.
Mhm.
But it's mostly Midtown only, right?
Okay.
Because so my, at least where we were living, our college of computing itself just was 15 minutes walk, and we can take the bus also. And bus takes I think 7-8 minutes, but you can walk also. 15 minutes is not a long time. So yeah, depending on the day, wanted to walk or not to walk. That's more on that.
That's nice. And Midtown is really lively and it has everything around you. Like
Yeah, yeah,
anything
correct.
is at just walkable distances. And that's amazing. What about you, Sakshi?
So I did not get much time to research on phrases or on banks or anything. I just knew that there were banks around. I did ask around from my friends who came here first. And since I got like my visa, I think end of July, and I had to fly here on 11th August. So I did not have much time to research. But when I came here, it was pretty easy because like there are 3 to 4 banks here, and even grocery stores are like 2 to 3, like quite on walking distance. So that was a good thing. And initially, it was hard because the accent here is quite strong. So even when you know English, you can't really understand them. Neither can they understand you sometimes. That part was difficult, but that was not an issue in school or in classes. That was more with banks and going to the grocery store or going in a cab. That time you realize, okay, there is accent difference. But other than that, it was great. And I think not many people know that there's one Chase Bank, and that offers a special benefit to the students who are under the age of 24. So they waive off the requirement for minimum balance. All other banks have a requirement for minimum balance. So that is one thing that others can benefit. Other than that, it was quite good. I like this area a lot. I got settled in pretty quick.
That's amazing. Because I've seen the area, Midtown is pretty lively. Like I have seen a different world of Atlanta, and then coming down to Midtown was really different for me. And I've lived there for good like 4 5 months after my college. And I agree, like it has a different college vibe of Georgia Tech, and I've myself been to the campus as well, and it's really beautiful. And everywhere I just see college students, so it just feels really good that okay, I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by a lot of other international and obviously in-house students as well, and it's really great in terms of diversity. I have seen a lot of folks on the streets and it just gives me a good vibe, and the college is pretty as well. So that's been said. I know the college, the curriculum, and everything we've talked about, and we just jumpstart to this point now with you, Sakshi. I know you're graduating soon in May. So I know the job market is really thin and not good at all. It was even worse last year. Things are getting back on track, but not to that point. But how is your job search considering the layoffs and all of these things going on? And what are a couple of roles that you're searching for yourself after MS degree? Yeah.
So I'm looking for something in security operations analyst position or in maybe incident response, which is what I find interesting because it has like all different kinds of cybersecurity issues every time with every incident. I love that. So I'm looking for that, but job search is still in progress for me, right? So I'm trying to be optimistic. So I'm hopeful that it'll improve in 2 to 3 months. And I'm focusing on upskilling and continuous learning and keeping my resume and LinkedIn updated. Other than that, I can't do much right about the market. I can just try my best.
I agree to that point, but whoever is watching right now, I really wanted to put it out loud that if you know anyone or if you're yourself searching for any person into security operations analyst or into incident response, Sakshi would be a great candidate. And her all the links are in the description box, so you can reach out to her and get hold of her resume and take the process forward. So that would be a great help in these difficult times. So thanks for that. And hopefully things would be fine. I know I have been in your shoes last year. It was really difficult couple of months when I was in Midtown and I was searching for a job. And I know things got better for me when I joined EY. And it happened barely after 5 months of me graduating. So don't like everybody's situation is different. Probably you'd get something before you graduate, but yeah, things were really bad. And I understand the situation when you have a lot of things in your head going without a job. And hopefully things would get better. I wish you luck there.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, hopefully fingers crossed into that. Coming down to you, Apurv, I know you graduated a couple of years back and now you've been working and successfully now completing 3 years with Cyble. So how was your transition from a student to a corporate, if you remember it, 3 years back? And how are you finding it now? And how was the degree that you did with Georgia Tech relatable to what you're doing, or it has helped you in some ways possible?
Yeah, so I think it has helped a lot because again, as I said, like I was into threat intel research itself. And during my master's also I did like for 1.5 years under Professor Paul. I did that threat intel research. So because of that, it was, I mean, I would not say easy, but it was relatively like less, I mean, yeah, easy, relatively easy when compared to others, getting interviews at least because of what research I did, the threat intel. And for, again, as Cyber itself, like, I mean, I also didn't, by the way, like a lot of people. So when you are graduating, let's say if you're graduating in May, a lot of people have jobs around previous year, September itself, right? Like my friends did have job offers. So it's like you think like, I mean, I'm not getting jobs, what to do? And yeah, like that thinking goes, right? So, but I think I got my job offer in March. I'm graduating May. So it was still pretty late, but I still got it. Again, as Sakshi said, like I had confidence in myself, like I will get it. And obviously there were jobs, like it was I mean, it was during COVID. I would not say pre-COVID. But because my job itself, it's like I knew it will be remote because the threat intel work, it's mostly related to dark web intel. The work that we do, I assume, I know 70 or 60% of it, even before COVID, was remote only. Like people, because it's all across the globe, people like the teams or different companies, the teams they have, there are people all across the globe. And not everyone goes to office every day, even before COVID. So I knew it was going to be remote somewhat, but because of COVID, it went like full remote, which I like it. But yeah, I knew like I will get it. Like COVID will not impact that part of it, like getting a job or job opportunities. Uh, Coming to, I mean, the transition was okay. because I did, similar to Sakshi, or like Sakshi worked in India, right, for 2 to 3 years, I assume. I didn't work, I came directly for my master's, but I did do internships, even year-long internships, like going to office and all. So I knew like what the office environment is, and or what the work environment is, I would say, not office environment, right? But yeah, I knew what the work environment is. But obviously you learn a lot while you are actually in the job. So I learned a lot at Cyble. But yeah, it was easy, I would say. I wouldn't call it like, oh, there was any shocking things that I got to learn after doing the job. So because it was the same like threat intel, and also the things that I already knew, I was working in that only because I wanted to be in that or continue working in threat intel or dark web threat intel. Or I think it's cybercrime threat intel, a proper word for it. But yeah, I really like my job. So
That's amazing. And I've seen you all these years. We've been in a couple of more other videos together as
yeah,
well. And I remember we had you on Cyber Preserve to talk about threat intel.
yep,
And that's like a good introductory session that you did. Like if anyone wants to just start and to know more about it and how things can go around. So that's one we will have that session linked as well in the description for anyone to know more about it. And obviously because you've spent that much time in Cyble, and we know that Cyble is also growing year by
yep,
year. And yeah, we'll have your links as well in the description. So anyone who would like to connect with you on threat intel or the other jargon words you used, I may not be able to take it fully, but probably that's a great, interesting field. And I wish you all the luck, and obviously congratulations on your 3-year anniversary coming soon.
thank you.
So it's really amazing, when we come up from our home countries and then, start studying. And, graduation is one big milestone that I
Yep,
went up as first. And then the internship came and then the job came. So I would say, Sakshi, to you as well. Those were difficult times for me as well, and I guess for Apurv as well. But things just went in. Just try networking, just try connecting with folks, and I guess things would fall in picture. I know the times are bad, but uh wish you all the luck there that things would fall into their place. Like you still have time, like it's May, and then you still get extra 90 days after that as well. So that's the time range that we have. I used my 30 days, first 30 days, but somehow things came into picture. So just be fine mentally. I know there could be a lot of challenges, but yeah, things would fall.
No, no, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I know we've talked about a lot of things, and we're just drawing to the end. And there's just one question I ask always my guests that, before you come up to a new country, there could be tens and zillions of things in your head, and you actually differentiate them as this would be the easier one. I would be able to do it. But that particular activity went really south, and things were really messed up on that end. And there were things which you were really scared of, but that went as a cakewalk for you when you came here. So, any such instances that you could remember of, or they happened currently, and you thought that those were the things I could get hold of, but you couldn't, or rather the opposite? Either of you can start here.
uh, I think I can start with the things that didn't go as planned. So I mean, I knew like coming to US, like you have lots of opportunities, right? Like in security itself, and with all the data out there are a lot of positions. So I knew like I will get an internship, as in like a proper company doing an internship on a project basis or similar to that. Because my overall goal, even though I was into academic research, my overall goal was to work in a company, not for like uh, what do you call a university, not for a university. But while like searching for the internship, especially in threat intel, again, so threat intel is very niche field. So people like who are doing jobs, they have years of experience working in it. So this thing I didn't think about. Like, okay, because I don't have any experience, or I had just 1 year, I guess, experience, they would not take me even for an internship. So that point, like I knew it. It was just I didn't know like it's so close to me, right? Like I will not get any internship. So I think that was it. I mean, I did get internship in academic research, but it's not the thing that I wanted to do
Yeah.
after graduating. And even though academic research did help me a lot for my like the research that I was doing for my master's, but my end goal was to get a job. And the internship period, I think from seniors itself, everyone says like where you do internship, it's really important for you to get a job. A lot of time it gets converted automatically to a job.
99% it does.
Yeah. So that thing was a little bit like I didn't like it. But obviously the work, academic research itself, because I knew it, I had interest in it, I did it really good. It's just like for the end goal, it was not what I wanted. So I think this was more on like I wanted to do this, but I didn't get it. And yeah.
And the other one where you think that it would be difficult, but it was rather a cakewalk for you.
Uh, I mean, there are multiple things like that. But I think coming to mind is I would say the networking thing because so I still think it's I mean obviously it is difficult work, right? Like, I mean, you can go out, speak a lot about it, but still like talking to someone is difficult.
Yeah.
But when I started like giving conference talks and all, in my mind, I was like, so I'm still an introvert, like, or I would call it what, like the middle part of introvert and extrovert.
Like being an ambivert.
So, yeah, ambivert. Yeah, I forgot the word. But yeah, so I'm still that. So I don't go out and like talk to anyone I want. I can't do that. But like while going through the conference talks and everything, like it was for me, like it became very easy to talk to people because I know they are all in cybersecurity. They have similar interests. So I think that was easy than I thought like it would be. So
people here, like it's a culture here. I was also like shocked a bit, but it's a culture here, the greetings, talking to people, taking that first step, just greeting as hi, good morning, how are things, and then you start from there. It just feels as if you know the people.
Yeah.
But it's actually you people are strangers. So
Yeah.
that's the best thing I find it here as well. Being part of couple of conferences now, it's really great to actually talk to people because at times I just feel like, will we be able to actually connect, or am I just boring that person or anything of that sort? But it just flows naturally here. That's the best part.
Yeah, I think that really helped a lot. Like because I mean, obviously, so a lot of time they also like other people who are really good connections now. They approach me, and sometimes I approach them. So it was very. I would say it was easy. Than I thought it to be very difficult, but it was easy. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. What about you, Sakshi?
So I have different kinds of experiences, but I'll tell you one. So that was related to interview when I was searching for internships. That was a bad experience for me because there was this one company, the recruiter was really nice to me, and he scheduled a call with me, like an interview call. I was very excited. I scheduled it for, I think, 3 days after I got the mail. So I was ready with my interview call, and nobody showed up. I contacted the recruiter again, like, what is going on? You never joined. And then later that day, he told me like it got cancelled because they interviewed someone else one day before me, and they didn't even tell me. So that was something very new. I never
Ghosting is
experienced
the culture
anything
here.
like that.
Yes, that's also one of them. I also
Yeah.
noticed it last year. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
But it's actually I felt it was kind of like disappointing. I if they if I knew, I wouldn't be so disappointed. It's fine. But it was like it was a learning experience for me. My next learning is schedule the call faster.
Yeah.
As soon as possible. Do not wait for 2 to 3 days. Not even 2 days.
I guess I took that. It happened for me in real time as well. Sorry, I'm cutting you there, but I was out for Hacker Summer Camp conference last year, and I got a call from my recruiter that we wanted to schedule the next round, and I was actually in PST time, and the interviewer was sitting in the Eastern time. So I was still being mindful that I don't want to skip it, that, I don't want to say that I will schedule it after 3 days when I'm back to
Yeah.
Atlanta. But rather, I had my interview done during Hacker Summer Camp because I had the same fear that maybe if they interview somebody else in 3 days and they select them, my chances would go. So I just sat in Hacker Summer Camp and gave the interview. I was like, I don't care. I just need a corner and I will give my interview here because I can't live with that fear that they selected somebody else, because that has happened with me. So the email came and I scheduled it for the next morning. I was like, no, I will give it next day. So that's a thing here. So I also learned from a couple of experiences that I've had from my interviews, and this time I took it up in my hand, like I am in charge. I'll do it the next day. That.
This was like a bad experience, but another thing was it was a mix. So when I came here, I didn't know how important certifications are in cybersecurity field, especially if you want to continue with blue teaming. So they focus a lot on certifications while hiring you, while shortlisting your resume. So I did not know that. And sometimes even in the internship jobs, I was overqualified for certain positions. So the recruiters were quite blunt with me, like, you are overqualified, so that's why we are rejecting you, which didn't make any sense to me. But it was fine. Okay. So I ended up getting CompTIA Security Plus, which was a cakewalk for me because I already knew half of the things, even though I was not very confident while giving the exam. But I knew that, okay, this is not going to be that difficult. And once I got that, my response from the recruiters quite changed quite a lot. So that is one thing, kind of a mix of cakewalk and difficult situation.
Yeah, I remember they usually do ask for certifications, or if you're planning to do so in coming months, and that just aligns with the job position. So yeah, that's the thing. A lot of things, are common between, I guess, my time and your time, Sakshi, with the job trends and everything that has happened. So yeah, there's one thing that, at times I did wait for one of the recruiters for like good 2 months, and
Oh,
I could see that person was always online on LinkedIn, and I went crazy after that recruiter. I was that desperate that I used to message him every day. I used to put in voice messages on his number, but he never came back to me, and the job position got filled up as well because I couldn't see that listing. So I never, at times, I never used to get a reason that why are they not coming back to me, or what is the reason, or is it like sponsorship or any other things. It's okay. You can just tell me rather than
Yes,
keep me
rather than ghosting.
waiting. Yeah, it's like, I am still being hopeful because in my head, I'll always think positive things that, okay, they'll come back. It's just maybe the budget or anything else they're dealing up with. But there were times, they never used to come back. So that's why I was really scared of recruiters actually. That
I think uh, for this, again, this thing pre-COVID was very different because for me, every time like I used to get at least this thing, like overqualified thing, I heard it with me itself. I think for internship itself, a one or two position, they just outright said like you are overqualified for this, and they rejected it. Which again, I didn't like. Why? Like so that was there, but for other positions, like even for jobs, they just came out like said, "Oh, we hired someone else. They were more qualified for than you." Also, the sponsorship thing, which is a big thing for us, they just outright said, "Yeah, like we don't sponsor. We cannot hire you." So, I mean, pre-COVID, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're talking about two worlds, pre and post-COVID. They're like two worlds,
Or
different.
I would say during COVID, like I
Oh,
was
yeah.
still like
For you,
during,
it was
not pre.
peak time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Apurv, you told just a few minutes back that most of your friends had jobs in September. I would like to tell you that's not the case now.
Oh, people don't get the.
No, no, no. Many of them couldn't convert their internships because of
Oh,
headcount
wow.
issue and budget
Oh,
issues.
okay.
But like, everybody is searching now.
Oh,
That's
I
what
mean,
I've noticed
that's,
in my circle.
yeah.
Everybody's searching.
During my time as well, like I would say I will still stick to Apurv's point. A lot of people had a job from spring semester itself,
Yeah.
but a lot of them got it by spring semester. I was the one who got it like after I graduated and everything. So, my internship could not be converted to full time because at that time, that was my unfortunate thing that they were going through a reorg, and that was the head count and budget issue. And then they later came back to me, when I did not have that much time. Like, when you are on your unemployment days, you
Yeah.
don't have that much time that you can wait and,
Yep.
get back to them and stuff like
Right.
that. So they came back to me then when I did not have time that I could give them, like, you can join after 2 months and still you're not sure will they get back to you or
Yeah.
not. So those are the conditions, because with my internship firm, they had never heard of a term called sponsorship or international student.
Yeah.
So for them, it was really new, and they had to take couple of, approvals and everything that they would allow somebody to work on OPT after CPT. So those were the things they were also getting to know, and I did not had that luxury of time to actually wait and give them that much time. So those are the situations where it can get converted, but it cannot actually. So that was couple of our, I guess, experiences of
Yeah.
the job. But yeah, I guess COVID times were really bad as compared to how market is bad now. So it was both challenging times for all of us, but
Yep.
I hope so things get better and we have everyone into corporates. So yeah, ending with this podcast, I know we're just at the last edge of this one. So, couple of advices or couple of like one advice, two advice, three advice, any that you can give to the upcoming folks who are actually wanting to come to Georgia Tech, and anything that you want to give them as an advice as seniors, anything?
I think
Actually,
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so I think I still get a lot of people who got admitted into Georgia Tech. They ask a lot of things on LinkedIn, reach out to me. And again, I tell them everything, or everyone, I tell the same thing. Just go out, because I mean, I still, during my time itself, there were people making videos or writing blogs on it, or even LinkedIn posts. Like, okay, I got admit, I did this, I did that, on those terms. So I did the same, like I did research. I just tell them, like, you have to invest time in it. Like, you have to actually do research. You cannot just ask anyone and they will give you all the answers you want. So the research one is really important. So that's the first thing. The second thing would be like networking. As like, it's very important to network, like for job itself, for in general advice, in cybersecurity or in any other field, right? Like all these networking opportunities, like attend conferences, even attend, like, or your college may have different, what do you call, industry lectures. So attend that. At least Georgia Tech has it. They usually have, I think, on Fridays. I don't know, Sakshi, if you attend, uh, or if it is still happens. They used to have during my time on every Friday or every Saturday, they used to have this one industry lecture. Like industry person comes from, comes to talk about what they are doing, or what they are doing from their company itself, or what they are doing personally. So it's more on that, like project based, research based, all those. So attend those things to know more about like security itself and what people are doing actually in the job market. Yeah, I think these two, like networking and do your own research.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you can follow me or Sakshi on LinkedIn. You can ask us, or other seniors who are studying in Georgia or at Georgia Tech, or who have again graduated as me, who can guide you, like whatever issues you have. We do, at least me. It's for me. I can say I do see different posts by seniors itself, like who keep posting these, like, okay, uh, specifically related to visa issues, right? Like, because for us, for international students, visa is a big thing. So I see people do post like different job opportunities where they do sponsor, or what other things you can do apart from like just getting a job or on OPT, what you can do else. So all these things. Yeah, I think these were, yeah, just like focus on what you can find online. There are a lot of things. So
Yeah. Like now we have a lot of things, and one thing that I have also, felt when I came here was networking is the epitome of everything here. If you network, you're actually getting a lot from it, and you never know how your network one day can help you with things. So it's really important for you to have those connects and network with peers or colleagues or seniors or anyone. So that
yep.
really helps. So yeah, that I would completely agree. And a lot has really changed for me due to networking. Yeah. What about you, Sakshi?
So networking was one thing that I had in mind. And another thing is before coming here for masters, uh, I feel that any student should have a little bit experience, whether it's internship, whether it's job or anything, or they should have at least one certification, like any basic certification of cybersecurity to get the fundamentals right, because the recruiters pay a lot of attention to certifications. And so I have started writing blogs, and like I have also included one blog about CC, if you have ever heard, certified in cybersecurity. It's from ISC Square,
Yeah.
and it's a very basic certification, and even someone without any experience can appear for it. It's not very difficult, and it's free for the first time, which is why it's very beneficial for students. And I think anyone should have like one certification before applying for internships to avoid the auto rejection.
Yeah. Because with that being said, here the profile as well matters, like how closely you are uh relevant to that particular job position. And at times, like majority of the times, it's AI that's
Yep.
actually looking at your resumes, and if you do not have those keywords or anything relevant, you're just auto rejected. So that really is a good thing to go ahead with, and probably we'll have your blog listed in the description as well for folks to actually read them and get to know more about the certified in cybersecurity exam that's been there for quite a while now. Like it came down, I guess, in 2022, if I remember it correctly. That's when the pilot exam came out, because I've had a couple of people who gave the exam, and now it's been more refined. It has grown more, like it has come better. And yeah, the first time it's free. That's what I know as well. And yeah, you can appear for that exam, and at the end it turns out to be, I guess, $99 exam. But yeah, first time it's always free for you. So yeah, we'll have that blog listed as well for others to also read up there. Great. There's a lot of talking being done, and I hope so. You people enjoyed to go back into the flashbacks of how you have come back to the present days. And I know it's always a good time to actually go back to the student life, because I really miss it a lot. For one or the other reasons, it was different to what I have it right now. And those days were also good days. At least at that time, we were just thinking when we would be starting to, go into the corporates and start earning. But now I still miss those days a lot.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah.
Atlanta was always like the first home that I had in US, and probably I wish to get back to Atlanta one day soon again to go around the premises of the college. But that being said, thank you so much to both of you for sparing some time and talking about your experiences. I hope so. If one student can also be affected by all these conversations, that's the major, major impact. And I hope so. You both get bombarded with a lot of messages on LinkedIn soon with new folks. But thank you so much for being here on the podcast and sharing all the details.
Thank you so much for having.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
Bye.